Big topic for the last few days, something you've been discussing not only with the media, but I'm sure amongst your colleagues. And you say this is, we're talking about First Amendment rights here and kind of talking about boundaries. What were your first thoughts when you heard about what's been going on at the Chick-fil-A?
You know, it really has turned into something that I'm sure Mr. Cathy never expected. In fact, Chick-fil-A, as you know, has tried to sort of back out of the fray politically mid-July, yet due to the, as they call it, social media spin cycle, I love that term, it is now sort of taken on a life of its own. And it really, in a lot of instances, especially, you know, we just saw in that last story, it's become an issue of the boundaries of the First Amendment. You know, Dan Cathy has a right to say what he says. The people that displayed their feelings at the kiss, and they have a right to do that. And the fact that it's now crossing the line into not only vandalism, but we've heard reports of potential threats. We've heard, you know, assault, people blocking traffic, blocking the doors. You know, and ironically, we've also heard reports of people that work in Chick-fil-A going out on Friday at the kiss-ins and passing out water and lemonade and breath mints. We hear about people getting along. It's really become about, you know, polarized politically rather than amongst the people involved.
It's also become kind of about commerce. I mean, you have the mayors of Chicago and the mayors of Boston saying you're not welcome in our states anymore. They can't do that, obviously.
No, and it's interesting how that you're seeing that rhetoric dialed back day by day. You know, it's one of the reasons we don't speak when our emotions are high, isn't it? Because we end up having to
backtrack a little bit.
Of course they can't. No, absolutely not. And I think they know that, their offices know that, and we're now seeing new statements sort of clarifying what they meant when they initially spoke out after hearing about the controversy.
Wendy, we talk about employers in these types of situations. What are the boundaries? What are some of the expectations that they can have for their employees without crossing the First Amendment rights
Courtney,
boundary?
That's an excellent question from a business ethics perspective. How far can an employer regulate what his or her employee does on their own time? It sort of begs the question as to whether or not this is religious discrimination. Remember, Chick-fil-A is not being charged with discriminating against anybody. But we've got that, as they call it, viral video by Adam Smith, formerly the CFO of that Tucson medical manufacturing company, who was fired for the video that he posted on the internet going through to get his free water at Chick-fil-A. And that has now become an example of, well, gosh, can an employer do that? That, of course, begs the question of public versus private employers. How far can they regulate, if they can at all, what an employee does when they're not working? It sort of reignited the whole Facebook posting issue.
I was just going to bring that up, too, because as you mentioned, this all really got its full steam from Facebook, from social media, from Twitter.
That's right.
You know, and it's a tough topic because the regulation, there needs to be regulation, but where is it exactly?
And employees are saying, gosh, I'm on my own time. Can I not do my own thing? And a lot of employers are saying, not if it is adversely reflecting on our privately owned company. And then even if it's a public company, there are some restrictions that apply.
So where do we go from here? I mean, you think it'll die down, or is this just going to continue? And the Chick-fil-A is actually going to have some business issues with this?
That's another great question, because I know a lot of people that love Chick-fil-A. They go for the chicken. They don't go to Chick-fil-A because it represents some sort of a political statement.
And we do have to make it clear that plenty of the people that have spoken in several of our stories have said that exactly that. I just went to have a chicken sandwich, you know?
Right. And Chick-fil-A is not the only company, by the way, that is Christian-based. In fact, if you look on the bottom of your In-N-Out Burger cups, you'll see John 3:16. Forever 21 is another Christian company with Christian values. And it's not news what Dan Cathy's values were either. This is another example of how social media can really blow up a story even when the parties involved have tried to back out of it.
And also that particular segment of our society is particularly, what's the word, sensitive. And so you see that kind of reaction.
A lot of sensitive issues.
A lot of sensitive issues, and you see that reaction when that, so. We've seen it before.
We have.
And we'll see it again with all kinds of different issues, especially now that we do have videos that go viral and social media is so accessible.
All right.
Wendy, thank you so much for joining us.
All I want is a chicken sandwich. Nice to see you. Thank you.